All right. Welcome back. We my moms with a camera. Special wrestling edition. I got my boy Jerry over here.
What's going on?
So, Jerry was watching the podcast. He was liking it. So, he wanted to say he loves wrestling. I met Jerry through wrestling, getting autographs and stuff. What year was that, Jerry?
That was where we actually met, would have been 2004. We've seen each other like in passing, being around the hotel getting graphs. But we never, really said anything till about 04.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, so, wow, 17 years, man.
Man.
We got a lot of stories from the road, right?
Yeah, that's what today's going to be. It's going to be some road stories, our opinions of all time.
Oh, man.
So, kick in, relax with us. Hope to sit back and relax and get some laughs in. Josh can't be here tonight.
Sorry, Josh.
It's a wrestling show. Josh don't watch wrestling.
Yeah, except Bad Bunny, right? Rep.
Bad Bunny all day. So, Jer.
What's going on?
So, obviously you got to kick it off. Who's your favorite wrestler of all time?
Oh, wow. Best wrestler of all time, hands down. I hope you agree. Let's go with Jeff Hardy.
Oh, definitely. For sure. Jeff
What's
Hardy
going
all the
on?
way. Swanton Bomb.
Jeff, I know you'll end up watching this. Jeff Hardy all day.
And Jeff, if you want to come out and be on the podcast, let us know.
Hey,
And we'll definitely have you on as a guest.
all day, buddy.
So, speaking of which, Jeff, cool-ass dude.
Coolest dude, hands down.
Let's get into our first story of the night.
Woo, let's do it.
So, I'm going to tell my story. I've loved the Hardys for the longest time. Jerry knew it. My boy Tom, who gets autographs with us, they knew it. We were over getting autographs at the hotel after the show one day. And, man, Jeff was there signing autographs for everybody.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jeff, man, I love you, Jeff. Sign these autographs for me. He hooked it up. And then later on that night, he went to his room. He came back down, chilled with us in the lobby while we were getting autographs. Maybe like a half hour.
Wow.
Just shooting shit with us. And then he invited us to have a drink.
Yeah. At Shoeless Joe's. And biggest mistake I've ever made in my life.
Same.
Jeff comes walking down. Must have been 2-something in the morning. And Jeff tells us, going to Shoeless Joe's. You guys want to roll with me? And I looked at him. I was like, man, that sounds so cool. But, man, dude, I got to get up for work tomorrow. I go home and tell my wife. My wife was waiting up for me. And I told you this. My wife said, why didn't you go? I was like, well, I thought it was late. Probably should get home. Man, biggest mistake. Jeff, if you're watching this, man, let's
I owe you.
Yeah, right. I owe you. You come hang out at our house, man. We'll fix you a place to crash, whatever you want, buddy.
Man, yeah.
We'll party with you.
I said no as well. Well, it's cool as hell. Remember the next day, we went back in the morning to get autographs, and he was really hungover. He had missed his flight a bunch of times. His dad called him because he had missed his flight. He hit the ignore button and continued to sign for other people.
Yeah.
We invited him out to Hooters. I was like, hey, sorry we couldn't have no drinks, but let's go get Hooters on us. And he's like, man, I would, but I got to go. I missed my flight.
Jeff is hands down the coolest dude. Real quick, I got to throw this out there. So first time I met Jeff, 2001, at the hotel at, won't say even not where, right?
Yeah.
So I'm at the hotel, and I waited. It must have been 12:30, and we got a bunch of guys. And I wasn't giving up. I was like, man, Jeff's got to come in. So about 2:15 in the morning, I'm getting ready to head out, and here comes walking in with a guitar case. And it was Jeff Hardy. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh, shit. It's Jeff. It's Jeff Hardy. I mean, man, it was like I wasn't even tired anymore. I was like, we got to get this photo. We got to get some autographs. Jeff, man.
Couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe how cool he was.
Right.
So, other than that, so you say Jeff Hardy number one. So who do you hate?
Favorite wrestler, number one, Jeff Hardy.
So
definitely.
Who do you say you hate the most?
Whew. Like hate or
yeah, what's one wrestler if they never made it on TV or you never see them again?
I'll say this all day. You'll agree with me. Anybody that comes out with us will agree. Chavo Guerrero,
My man.
you know it. Sorry, man. I ain't got no love for you, dude.
None.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Let me.
Go ahead. Tell them
Should
why.
we spit a little story real
Go ahead.
quick?
Tell
We're
the
gonna
people at home why.
We're going to spit the first story about Chavo. 2004, again, we're standing in the lobby waiting on wrestlers to come through, and the power goes out. And Eddie Guerrero is down there. Luther Reigns is down there. There were quite a few guys down there because, again, the power is out. They can't take the elevator upstairs. And Chavo didn't want to sign any autographs and thought, you know what, I'm too big for this. I'm going to take my luggage and haul it up the stairs. Well,
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero stayed down there shooting the shit with people and signing autographs. Eddie, man, hands down.
Coolest dude.
Really nice dude.
I remember I told him, I said, look, if I only got 3 things, you sign these 3 things for me, I'll help you carry your bags up to your room. Like, I don't care what floor you're on. Like,
I remember.
I'll do it. And he's like, well, what do you got? So I gave it to him, and he was like, don't even worry about it. Like, just I signed for my fans.
Yeah, I mean, really good dude. I mean, God rest his soul. Cool dude. Not to get off track with this, the hate on Chavo, but real quick, Eddie's story. First time I met Eddie, he walked into the hotel a few minutes after Chris Benoit, another great wrestler. Too bad he did what he did, but we can't dismiss that he was a great wrestler. Back on track with Eddie. Eddie's coming in, and there's a bunch of kids, bunch of fans, trying to, cram him at the door. And he's like, hey, guys, let me just go sign in real quick and check in, and I'll come back, I promise you. And he gets about 10, 15 feet away, and he turns back around, and he's like, you know what, guys? He wheels his bag back and says, I'm going to sign for you guys. I'm going to sign everything you guys got because I don't ever want anyone to say Eddie Guerrero doesn't sign for his fans. So I think that was pretty badass of him. I mean, nice dude,
Yeah.
Again, God rest your soul, man.
Yeah, definitely. R.I.P. Eddie. Here, I'm going to drink a vanilla Coke in your honor.
I got this too.
Cherry vanilla Coke at that.
That's right. We love you, Eddie. Damn, that was good.
Man, I love this sweet stuff.
Right.
All right, so
Back to hate on Chavo, or
back to hate on
should we
Chavo.
push on?
Well, we'll push on. Maybe we'll come back to part 2 to Chavo because there's always part 2.
Always.
For sure there's gonna be a part 3 in the future because he ain't done. I mean, I respect him, but
Yeah.
my thing is like you don't want to sign for your fans. It takes 2 seconds.
Right.
I mean, I don't. That's just the way I feel personally.
Sorry, but the fans are a reason that you have a job.
Yeah, definitely. So, kind of want to talk back, with tag team. So, Chavo Eddie's tag team, Jeff, obviously the Hardy Boys tag team. So, what do you think the problem is with tag teams today?
Ooh, good question. So, what do you think of when you think of a tag team?
Man, I think of that. To me, I call it like the golden era. Give me the Hardys, the Dudleys,
Okay.
Edge and Christian, even like Eddie and Benoit tag team together.
Right.
Like that back then. I feel like it meant something. Now they just put 2 guys.
Exactly.
Like
you said it.
Don't get me wrong, but I mean, come on, Cesaro and Sheamus.
Yeah. Well, the thing with the tag teams is, let's go back to 80s tag teams when, and I'm going to throw in some 6-man tag guys in there too, like Freebirds, Von Erichs, because, I mean, we got to rep those guys too. Those guys were fabulous. But look at guys like the Killer Bees, Heart Foundation, All Day, Demolition, British Bulldogs. Those were tag teams because they were established tag teams. They didn't just say, oh, we're going to put you and you together because, we got too many guys on the roster and we don't know what to do but shuffle you around somehow. Hey, man, the way they're doing it now, it's not good. So the thing I'm hating on with the tag teams right now is they'll have a match and they'll do a run-in. You know, you got 2-3 guys do a run-in, and you got 2-3 more guys that come to save the day. And when they come back from the commercial break, all of a sudden it's an 8-man tag. It's like, so we're just going to constantly keep putting people together because we got too many people on the roster and we don't know what to do with them. Great established tag team, Usos. Who's their competition? Now that, I mean, New Day's on Raw. Usos are on SmackDown. So you got the Street Profits on SmackDown. Besides them, who else do we got? I mean, again, 80s and 90s, you had, I mean, tag teams all day, you know?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I just don't understand, like, what the thought process is. And I don't know. I'm just trying to give hope for the product and say, like, you know, maybe just did a lot of selfish wrestlers out there. Newer guys, like, don't want to be tied up in the tag division.
Right.
But part of me is trying to think it's Vince. It's crazy Vince. Just, like you said, throwing people in together who don't know. They don't know what to do with them, but so let's just make them a tag team. Let's, you know, make this guy a manager. I don't get any of that.
So, with us being on the subject of the tag team, can we talk a little about the women's tag team? You think they should have ever made the tag team women's belt?
I think the women's tag team belt is a great idea. They need more women though.
Exactly.
I mean, and then look at what happened. They dropped Riot Squad.
They dropped the Iconics.
Like,
who do you have left? They split Sasha and Bayley.
Yeah, and what's her name? Alexa and
Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke.
Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Alexa and
Nikki.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
Nikki Cross. Yeah.
It was evident that was going to happen sooner or later.
Still,
because
because I think Alexa's better in singles.
Yeah,
but you still need more women. Like, you got all these women in NXT, and you can't even bring them up. Like, were you gonna partner Charlotte up every week with somebody? I mean, hey, I already know how Jerry feels about that.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte, great, but we'll get on that subject about her later, right?
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I think. There's just they need more women, and you know, just to kind of sleep on the women's division, it's sad because they got a lot of talent out there.
Right. They just need more tag teams out there altogether, male and female, like established tag teams.
Yeah, definitely. So some other things I got. So talking about establishment and stuff like that. When you become a veteran,
ooh.
What do you think? What do you think about these part-timers that are coming in and going for the belt? You know what I mean? Remember, CM Punk even talked about that. Like, he hated that.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing with the part-timers, you know, the veterans coming in to do part-time work, that's one of the reasons why, you know, he wasn't in the main events, you know? So Brock Lesnar, great guy. I mean, great wrestler. Guy's a beast. I mean, it's in his name, right? Beast incarnate. But does Brock really need to be the main attraction all the time?
No, I don't think so. I mean, part of me is like kind of tired of seeing Brock.
So we were at the United Center a couple years ago for there was a match, Brock Lesnar versus Kane. And I promise you, the entrance between the two of them was longer than the match. The match was less than 30 seconds. I think it was like 22 seconds. And, I mean, it was a waste. It was a waste of talent, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I'd be pissed.
John Cena. I know John Cena's a part-timer now. I know, you know, Chi-Town, not big Cena fans. I'll say I love Cena. Cena's great, you know? You know, he's the hometown hero, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, I was tired of Cena, but then now that he like left and came back, like yeah, I'm glad to see him back. Like I love his matches. He puts on
Right.
a great show. He does entertain.
Yeah.
But there was a point in time, and I feel like Vince does this with a lot of people, where they just shove the same guy down your throat.
Which is what we were going to get to later about Charlotte, right?
Yeah, just again shoving people down your throat, and it's like, why? Like, there's so many more talented people on there, and I think that's probably like what's wrong with today's product, like with WWE.
That's one of the things wrong with WWE today. So Vince has to start listening to the fans, don't you think?
I think so. I mean, they say they do, but obviously they don't.
I mean, I will say Vince is no dummy. He didn't just, become a billionaire, by twiddling his thumbs. Vince has a good mindset for, entertainment and for advertising, things like that. He saw something when he took over the business from his dad. I mean, he painted a picture, and I mean, he built a Picasso, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you brought in guys like Hogan, Andre, and he worked around guys like that. But let's push forward 30 years later. I mean, it's time that he passed the reins on. I mean, Triple H has done amazing work down with those kids in NXT, And as soon as they come up to the main roster, it's like Vince has the final say on everything. So how does a guy like Ricochet that, I mean, he's an amazing kid down in NXT, and even when he was on the indie scenes, but he comes up to the main roster and he gets lost in the shuffle. How is that?
Yeah, I don't understand. Like they have all these talented people. One of the rumors I've heard that was Vince McMahon wanted to make Adam Cole a manager for
Keith Lee.
Keith
right?
Lee. Like, how can you do that? Like, you've seen what Adam Cole can do. Granted, like, he is, a good mic man, but
right. I think, Keith Lee, he's amazing in the ring. You compare him to a guy like Bam Bam Bigelow, who's another huge guy, and who's just as agile as Keith Lee. I mean, Keith Lee moves around pretty good in the ring for someone his size. Is he great on the mic? He could probably be a little better. If Vince thinks he needs a manager, don't take a guy like Adam Cole, who's way up here, down in NXT, and stick him with Keith. I mean, that makes no sense. Bring in a veteran, to be his mouthpiece, or he can be with a manager like, look at MVP. MVP is great on the mic, and he reps Bobby Lashley, right? Back in the day, back in the 80s and 90s, when they had managers, these guys managed more than one person. So why can't he manage Bobby Lashley and Keith Lee,
Yeah, I mean, team them up with that. Like, it's perfect. I don't see why not.
Colossal Connection Part 2,
Yeah, for sure. It's just crazy. It's just the mentality that they have. It's crazy to me,
Yeah, agree. But Vince, again, man, you got to start listening to the fans. You heard this thing where Vince doesn't want guys wrestling indie style anymore, or once they come up to NXT, or once they come up from NXT to the main roster, he wants to teach them the main roster way and not the NXT way. I mean, what does that even mean?
I don't even, what does that mean? If you know what that means, just definitely comment.
Yeah,
because I want to explain that to me, because I don't know what the indie way and the NXT way. You put on a good show. Like, it shouldn't matter what way you do it. Like, oh, so you're not supposed to be high flying, or
yeah. I mean, I've been watching wrestling 36 years now, and back in the day when you had these guys, driving from town to town with 6 guys in one little car, that was them paying their dues. So these guys from the indie scene, I mean, they are paying their dues. I had a buddy that was on the indie scene, you know, and he told me there were times where, you know, he'd make $25. I've seen this guy get thrown through the first 3 rows of chairs. And I mean, to make $25 to get your ass beat at the end of the night, or, you know, shout out to Dan. Me and him were talking about this earlier, and Dan said, you know, for the guys on the indie scene, it really means something to get a hot dog and a handshake at the end of the night. But yet Vince doesn't want guys like that. So he wants to do what, tryouts? Kind of like Tough Enough, right?
Man, I don't even understand Tough Enough.
I don't either.
Because like they have all these talented people on Tough Enough, and they pick up like 2-3 people. You ever notice anybody who's ever won Tough Enough don't make it to the roster?
So you know what Tough Enough is? The American Idol of wrestling. You ever notice that the big winners on American Idol, they end up doing shit. You know, they're probably working at car washes or something like that. I mean, whatever they're doing. I mean, no disrespect. You had great voices, but let's be real.
You get like 1 or 2, like obviously Kelly Clarkson.
Yeah, Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, but I mean,
but everybody else.
You say the same thing, like, you know, Morrison.
Right. And yeah, Morrison, Miz, you know.
Nydia. I mean, Nydia for a little bit back in the day,
yeah.
But Miz didn't win. Miz took second.
But again, the whole Tough Enough thing is basically, it doesn't necessarily mean that they came from a wrestling background. It just means that they want to be a wrestler. Yeah. I mean, hell, I wanted to be a wrestler when I was younger, but, you know, it's not for everybody. I'm not going to just wake up one day and say, I mean, unless I really dedicated myself to it, I know I could either do it or I can't. And obviously, I can't do it. So, I mean, let's leave it to the pros. But back on track with Tough Enough. So, I was watching Tough Enough, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, you know, being one of the coaches, he asked Cameron. She was one of the Funkadactyls with Naomi. And I don't know if you remember this segment, but Stone Cold asked, what is your favorite match of all time? And you know what her answer was? Melina versus Alicia Fox. Oh, man. I mean, he literally, I must have watched this and rewound this thing like 4 or 5 times straight, because Stone Cold does one of these numbers, like, he didn't even get any words out. Like, he looks at her like, are you a fucking idiot? You know? And then he goes, what, is that your favorite match of all time? And then he's like, who? And she repeats herself, Melina versus Alicia Fox. And she even has like this look on her face like, okay, these are the 2 names I'm going to remember.
Right.
But are you telling me that they put out a 5-star match, even if she only watched wrestling for 3-4 years? Is that the most memorable match you can come up with? Again, you want to be a wrestler, but you have no knowledge of wrestling history. 0.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit there in front. You know, like I joined the wrestling game late. I joined in 2001, right after September 11th, when they did the live show. Okay. On that SmackDown Thursday. So I did come in super late, but guess what? I had the network, watched some old matches. Yeah. You know, talking to you about it, like, you know, Dan, this big time wrestling fan. You know, just talking about these old school matches. You know, Flair versus Steamboat. Yeah. That's the other thing. Great wars. Like, I also feel Vince does that too. Yeah. Like, to me, like, the matches between Flair and Steamboat, you know, like, that's all history that wasn't forced. So how many times has Cena wrestled Orton, trying to relive that, like, you know, greatest rivalry of all time? Like, how can you can't force that on people. It's got to happen naturally. Right. And because Steamboat and Ric Flair were, you know, they had their wars in NWA. Right. So because Vince doesn't have a piece of that NWA, I mean, that's something he just, I guess you would say he would dismiss, right? Right, but as true wrestling fans, they love that and they remember that.
I mean, history don't lie, you know. But man, when you mentioned that, you know how long you've been watching wrestling, it gave me a little flashback about how long I've been watching. You know.
So I remember I heard Jerry tell the story. Jerry watched as a kid.
I if you want, man, I'll paint a picture, man.
Do it, Jerry.
So I'm at my dad's gas station as garage as work, and you know I'm a bored kid, 8 years old, flipping channels on a little 19-inch black and white TV, and when I stop for a second, I see this really big dude. That's all I can say. Really big dude. He's sticking a fork into this guy's forehead and making him bleed, and I'm like mesmerized by this. I'm an 8-year-old kid, and yeah, it's violent, sure, but man, I'm like, wow, what the hell is this, you know? And I'm just like glued to it. I didn't know what the hell it was, but I just know, man, it's like taking, you know, the guy's manager to try and pry him off, and this guy's got no success. So I was like, oh man. So long story short, it was Abdullah the Butcher to Jerry Allen back in World Class Championship Wrestling. So the very next week, I knew that Sunday at 5 o'clock, I had to have that same channel on, and maybe I was going to see the same dude again, or maybe I was going to see somebody else. And man, I grew up watching, you know, Von Erichs go to battle with the Freebirds. Yeah, guys like gentleman Chris Adams and Terry Taylor, Jimmy Garvin, gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. But man, those guys, I mean, they gave their blood, sweat, and tears back then. And, you know, it was probably a few months later where I end up seeing Roddy Piper on TV one day, and I'm like, oh, man, who's this crazy-ass dude, you know? I mean, this guy's coming to a ring with bagpipes and shit, and I was like, huh, this guy's got a skirt, he's got bagpipes, but again, I was like, huh. And then I was like, okay, so they've WWF. I was a little confused still as a kid, you know. Here I was watching World Class Championship Wrestling, but then another day I'm watching WWF, and I'm like, do these guys ever like cross paths or whatever, you know? But man, I've been watching a long time, but whew, man, you got me thinking back to the old days now. Come on,
man. Old days and just thinking. So I think it's a good time to get to our top 5 at 5.
Woo.
So all right, we're gonna break it down, top 5. So I'm gonna hit Jerry with these hard hitting questions.
Oh man,
make them think.
Okay,
all right,
let's do it.
Here we go. Number one.
Can we get a little sip real quick?
All right,
let's do it. All right. Damn, that's good.
That's sweet.
Yeah, especially when you don't drink soda that often. You know? I mean, man.
So top 5 at 5. Number 1. Top 5 wrestlers of all time.
Ooh.
What would you say?
Okay, top 5 of all time. So I know you've got names out there that everybody's gonna say, oh, you know, I don't know, Andre and obviously guys from the 80s, you know. But I am gonna start off with an old timer. Number 5, I'm gonna go with Randy Savage. Randy Macho Man Savage. Oh yeah. Man, Macho Man was great in the ring, great agility, great mastermind, just all around great guy. And the way he used Elizabeth like as a shield sometimes, I mean, again, this guy had a great mindset for the business, you know. Number 4, I'm going to go with, this is going to be a tie. I hate to do it to you, but the two I'm going to go with for number 4 is going to be Stone Cold and The Rock. I know everybody wants to say, oh no, Stone Cold's the best of all time. I'll say Stone Cold, he's got the catchphrase. I mean, he came up with the what? He came up with John 3:16. Well, Austin 3:16 says, I just whooped your ass. I mean, this guy could do anything. And when I say he could do anything off the top of his head, we're going to get to a story that he did to us back at the hotel. Stone Cold, man. But sharing that number 4 spot, we said, The Rock. I mean, The Rock's a genius. I give it to The Rock. You can hand the guy a mic and say, talk about.
You got 10 minutes.
Right.
Go.
Yeah, that's it. And he could spit anything for you in like 2. And you're just like glued, like, oh shit, what did this guy just say? Man, he's got a mind for the business. He's got the look. He's got the size. Rock, man. Let's go to number 3. Undertaker.
Okay.
I mean, Undertaker. I remember Undertaker back in the day of World Class Championship Wrestling when he was Big Red, But and he had the mask, but Undertaker, just his presence alone, if you've ever seen a live show, I mean, it'll give you chills. They cut those lights and the gongs go off, and when he's coming to the aisle, I mean, he looks stone cold dead. So, I mean, the whole WrestleMania history with his run, I was kind of pissed that he lost, to Brock the first time. I mean, every dog has his day, but come on, man. The guy, I think he should have retired with like a perfect streak. We could probably get on that subject a little bit later. Number 2, I don't care what people say, but I give number 2 spot to Hogan. Hulk Hogan, man. Hulkster, Hollywood Hogan, whatever you want to call him. Hogan put asses in seats. I mean, Hogan put WWF on the map. He made wrestling mainstream between lunchboxes and toys and posters. I mean, they had Hulk Hogan toothbrushes, and I'm sure I probably had one at one time, But Hogan, man, Hogan has a great mindset, again, for the business. But number 1 spot, and I hate to do it again, man, but we got a tie for the number 1 spot. Me, big Bret Hart fan. I love Bret the Hitman Hart, man, all day. He's got to share that number 1 spot with the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Oh, I'm sure he ain't happy about sharing that
No,
spot.
and I hate to do it, man, with the whole Montreal screw job and everything, and I know they kissed and made up, but, man, they both got to share the number 1 spot because Bret is a great in-ring performer. Shawn is a showman. I mean, hands down, the guy's been named Mr. WrestleMania, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they give him that title for a reason. Well, what do you think?
My list is a little different. There's a name I think you left off on there. To me, it's Ric Flair's up there.
He's definitely the GOAT. I think he should be in that top 10. And Ric Flair is a piece of wrestling history, hands down.
He's great on the mic.
Yeah.
He's great in the ring. Always
great heel.
Great heel.
Yeah.
Great heel. Like you want him, to lose, when you watch him. Same thing. Like I think Piper's up there.
Oh.
I mean, you can't. I'm sorry, but you can't talk Hulk Hogan without mentioning Piper.
Yeah.
Can't.
I mean, they built WrestleMania, right?
Right. I mean, that's that's one name like you can't forget. To me, Rock, Stone Cold, definitely for sure.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Rock fan. I mean, I love Stone Cold, what he did. Like I said, I came in late, into wrestling. So when I came in, he was already hurt.
Yeah.
And he remember when he was it the Marshall?
Oh yeah.
And you couldn't put his hand. He couldn't touch nobody unless you touched him.
Right.
That was funny as hell. Like I was cracking up on that.
How about when he did the whole segment with the ukulele, Jimmy Crack Cornette, I don't care. Him and Angle.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna get shit on, but Triple H, not top 5 for me.
No.
Nah, he's
top 10. Can we get top 10 for Trips?
Maybe 10.
Okay.
I don't like Trips just for he is definitely a good ring general. I'm not gonna say that he's not. Like he knows what he's doing. He knows how to perform a show. but I also think his ego's too big.
Ooh. Man, you know what? For everybody out there, I think just for that comment, I think I'm going to wear my Triple H shirt on the next wrestling podcast that we do.
But
one of them.
I would probably say Jericho's up there for me.
Okay.
Top 5, like
He's definitely a GOAT.
definitely. You know, and I mean, obviously, I want to say Jeff, but
I did too. I mean, I would love to say number one.
To say top 5 though, like he's top 5 for me because if I
Right.
find out Jeff's wrestling, I'm gonna tune in for that.
Yep.
You know, but as far as like, another name I hate to say,
Uh-oh. Who's this?
I would probably put him top 15. I'll say CM Punk.
Yeah.
Top 15. I mean, I love Punk and I love his ring style. I remember one of the things like Cena versus Punk, and I was like, Cena's only got like 5 moves, but man, they put on a show. Like Cena actually went into the repertoire and like busted out some other moves, and I was just in awe. I was like, damn, that was a good ass match. So Punk's up there for me. I mean, he's.
You know, what's ironic is you mentioned him, Punk versus Cena. Remember, Punk was actually one of the mob guys in Cena's entrance at Mania.
Yeah, I was there. I remember that was in WrestleMania Chicago too.
Yeah.
So Punk, story time for me, autograph. Ooh. Punk came down. He was with Maria at the time.
Okay.
They were dating, and he didn't quite make TV yet. So I was like, oh man, like Tom goes, that's that indie guy, CM Punk, like that's the indie guy. He's gonna be big. He's gonna be big. And a lot of times, Jerry can tell this too. We like to take our pictures with people who are gonna blow up, because you know who Jerry got the picture with is almost impossible to get now.
Oh, I'll tell you this. This is back in 2002. I took my pick with 2 guys. Randy Orton was one of them. He was just coming on the scene in WWE. And the second one I was sitting in the lobby. Again, won't mention what hotel, but I'm sitting in the lobby with one of my buddies. And I said to him, I was like, man, that dude's huge. I said, he's like, oh, he's just a jobber. And I was like, man, I don't give a shit. I said, if you think that guy's a jobber, he's going to be big time one day. I said, I'm going to go get that guy's autograph. I said, I don't care if you laugh or make fun, whatever. Guy was Brock Lesnar. And I still got that picture. Man, I was so happy to, I'm happy to say that that I took a picture with these guys when they were, just starting off at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's what I did with CM Punk. Like, and I even came up to him. I was like, hey, when are you going to debut in WWE? You know, what's going on? He's like, man, it's a weird business. As he said it just like that. This is a weird business. And, signed my autograph for me, took a pic, and just went about his day. Went back into the hotel with Maria and met him a couple times after that. He really isn't too nice after that. I mean, I kind of get it. I kind of don't. Like, not everybody who gets your autograph is going to try to make money off of you. Like, I'm sorry, but that's...
Yeah, we got to touch on that later.
It's harsh, but, I'm actually a fan.
Me too. Big time.
I can sit here and tell you I haven't sold a single autograph that I own.
Same. I probably got over 100 magazines that are autograph in plastic, and I don't got any intention to sell them. I probably got some that are worth a nice penny, just because of how old they are.
Or who they are.
Right, or who they are.
Yeah, like I got a Benoit magazine that somebody offered me $600 for, and I was like, nope.
I got a magazine with Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair signed by both of them, and man, I wouldn't give that up for nothing.
So, but I mean, I get it. Like, you do you, Punk. Like, I'm still gonna watch.
Yeah, me too. I mean, man, not to jump stories, but man, I'm glad CM Punk is back on the scene.
I'm glad he's back. Like, at first I was like, nah, I don't really care. But then he came back, and I was like, damn, I fell for the magic.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I jumped out of the couch. I jumped up from the couch when he made his debut in AEW and that music hit. Man, I wish I was at the United Center when it happened. I couldn't be, but at least I made it to Dynamite, when they came here. and I got to see him live there. So,
I'm sure the roof blew off when he came.
oh man, shout out to CM Punk, man, dude. Everything that you do is hands down amazing, don't you think?
That's why I say, like, he's top 15. I give it to him.
I'd
Top
even
15.
say I'd even put CM Punk in top 10.
Top 10?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I hold the personal grudge too much. I still got one magazine I need you to sign, Punk. Just sign my one magazine. I'll never bother you again.
Hey man, CM Punk, he left. He had his reasons for leaving. You know,
I mean, I don't blame him for that at all.
I don't either.
I heard your story,
I heard it too.
and you know, it takes a big man to walk away like that.
Yeah.
And for somebody who, you know, needs to be right with themselves and get themselves healthy, whether physically, mentally, whatever you need to do, like I'm not gonna shit on that.
Me either. I mean,
know
it's
what?
better to walk away and get your mind straight than to sign a contract, you know, for however many zeros, but yet you've got to be somebody else's puppet and, you know, your strings are pulled by them. CM Punk didn't want that, so, you know, he took his time off. He came back when it was time to come back, and man, I'll say it all day, I'm glad he's back.
I'm glad he's back too. Like I truly am. Like, you know, and like I said, it takes a big man to walk away, and takes an even bigger man, you know, to say like, hey, I need to get myself healthy, because that's important.
Yeah, and I'm glad that, you know, he's back in the business and that he is somewhere where upper management's at least going to listen to the guy.
Yeah, and I'm sure if things don't go the way and he starts feeling the way he does, like nobody's listening to him, they're pushing him to do stuff that he really doesn't want to do, he's not scared to walk away. So,
Right.
you know, like, big ups. Hopefully AJ comes back. I would love to see that too.
I was going to ask that, but I didn't want to jump off the subject again. I hope she comes back too, man.
So, yeah, I say that's my top 5. I mean, I don't want to leave any divas off either.
No.
I mean, give me Trish. I mean, Victoria's up there for me,
Okay.
because, you know, she put on some great matches.
So we talking
Divas, top
top five divas?
Top 5 divas.
Do it.
I mean, Lita.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, you can't. To me, like these divas, like you're talking about, you know, Lita, Trish, Molly Holly, like they paved the way. You know, Victoria. You know, I you know, you can't really knock on that
No.
at all. Like, and they paved their way. They paid their dues. They did the bra and panty matches.
Right.
You know, like, you have wrestlers like Stacy Keibler and Tori Wilson and Dawn Marie,
Right.
who's just there for looks.
For eye
Eye
being
candy.
eye candy, yeah.
So, I mean,
Molly Holly, she knew how to wrestle, right?
right, and she was kind of against that.
Yeah, and man, real quick, Molly Holly story. I met Molly Holly in the parking lot outside of one of the hotels, and I asked her to take a picture with me, and, you know, she's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And my buddy took a picture, and he's not that great, I guess, in taking pictures, you know, so I looked at it and told her, hey, you know, I don't think it came out. And she's like, okay. And I was like, you mind taking another picture? So she's like, all right. So in the next picture, she's actually doing one of these numbers, choking me in the picture. I thought that was funny, and man, really cool person, you know, really down to earth.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I definitely put Molly Holly in top 5. What'd you say?
Yeah, top
Maybe
5.
Trish.
Lita, Victoria.
Yeah, Victoria. Who else are we missing?
I mean, you got like what, Ivory, Jazz, Jacqueline,
Yeah.
Nydia. I mean, you're talking about old school, like that. Actually, when they actually wrestle versus
True. Melina?
I like Melina. Melina's up there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you also got China too.
True. But I mean, China was on a different level. I mean, China was in there mixing it up with the guys. I mean, she pulled great. Wait, was it Great Khali? No, I'm sorry, that was Beth Phoenix that pulled Great
See,
Khali
Beth
over.
Phoenix up there.
But yeah, definitely. Beth is she's the Glamazon. But China was in one of the Royal Rumbles. You know?
Yeah.
But now, so we said divas, meaning we're talking old school, female wrestlers. What about today's day with wrestling? And it doesn't have to be just WWE, but if you want to just do WWE, or if you want to put both, AEW and
I say both.
even Impact,
Like who do you think? You think
top 5 for. I mean, we have to put Charlotte in there. I'm a huge Charlotte fan. I hate that Vince is pushing Charlotte down people's throats, but so she's already a 12-time champion in just a few years. Her dad was a 16-time champion over a couple decades. So for you to be a 12-time champ in just a matter of a few years of being on the main roster, that just means that you couldn't hang on to the belt, that long.
yeah, like nobody holds these titles anymore. Like what? How many times Cena world champ? 15?
Cena's at 16. He is tied with Ric Flair. Should they have done that? I don't know. I'm on the fence. I say yes and I say no. Again, Cena's great. I'm a Cena fan. I'm a Cena supporter. I know Chi-Town hates Cena, and we'll get to a Cena story when I met him later. But should they have gave him the belt 16 times? I don't know.
But now that you actually said that out loud,
Yeah,
makes me think, man, poor Booker T. He's only 5
only 5.
Right?
And-
And everybody else got these 16, 12 double-digit numbers on them.
Well-
I mean, granted, he did win, like when he was King Booker and stuff like that after the fact. But,
Right.
I mean, when you think Booker T, what's the first thing you think of? 5 times.
Right. And now that we're talking about Booker T and 5-time champ, can we talk about the segment on Raw where Booker T says, 5 times, and RVD goes by and he's like, wow, that means you lost the belt 5 times. And, Booker T's just like, tell me you didn't just say that, sucker, I mean, great sketch right there,
Yeah. I mean, but it's true. That means Charlotte's lost the belt.
That
at
many
least
times,
13 times.
Right. But, wait, 13 that she lost?
12 when she had to lose.
Well, yeah.
Well, I guess lost. I mean, she's lost actual titles too, but actually dropped the belt. She dropped the belt 12 times.
Hey guys, this is wrestling. We're not doing mathematics, all right?
Math sections later in life.
Right. That's another podcast show. But yeah, let's go back to what'd you say? Top 5 of current female wrestlers. So we'll say Charlotte. Definitely.
I like Asuka. Asuka's up there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
She takes a beating.
Would you put
Britt Baker up there?
Oh yeah, definitely Britt Baker.
Definitely.
DMD. You got it. And would you throw Sasha Banks in there?
Oof. Honestly, like I don't.
She's a good heel.
She's a good heel, but I don't think she's shown me anything to be wild at.
Okay.
Like I don't. She hasn't wowed me.
Okay.
So I wouldn't put her up there.
Alexa
Bliss. Yeah, she's got way more talent.
Definitely.
Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey. I think that's more than 5, but I mean
Becky Lynch. You can say that too.
Yeah. Oh, Becky's great.
What about Tessa?
Tessa Blanchard. Oh man, girl is a beast. And me and our boy Dan, we went to Impact pay-per-view a couple years ago, and man, Tessa was in a ladder match with these guys. I mean, she's a beast, dude. I don't know. Do you think she'd make it in WWE?
I would say no, just because they wouldn't use it right.
No, they wouldn't. I mean, she's over in Impact wrestling men. And what would they do with her over in WWE on the main roster?
My prediction of the tape.
Yeah.
She comes over. She's going to be flipping tables, flipping cars.
Right.
Braun Strowman effect.
I'm
going to call it the Braun Strowman effect.
Yeah.
Jerry's going to tell you, what the Braun Strowman effect is.
So Braun Strowman effect is 1 week you're flipping an ambulance. Next week you're flipping a semi-truck. And, third, fourth week, you're doing the same thing, A month later, you're getting bitch slapped by a little guy like Sami Zayn. I mean, I read that Big Show said something to Braun Strowman because, Braun Strowman, he's over here doing these crazy ass segments, and then he's selling a job to somebody like Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is a great heel. He's a good, I think he's good on the mic. He's got a good mindset with his ring psychology. But again, that's a guy that Braun Strowman should be throwing like through the rafters, and he's getting bitch slapped around by him.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like you said, before, once you start doing that, there's no place to go.
No, there's no going back. And look where he is today. He's not on the main roster anymore.
No. All right, so we're gonna go back down to our next 5.
Uh-oh.
I think we covered a lot there. It was good segment.
I liked it.
Next 5 top 5 finishers, male and female.
Top 5
finishers of all time.
All time.
To me, I know it's just an elbow, but the people's elbow. I'm telling you, you go Rock's at a show. He don't do the rock bottom or the people's elbow. I'm ripping up my ticket. I'm throwing my chair. Like, I'm sorry, but I need to see the people's elbow. You can kick out of it, but I still want to see it.
True.
You know what else? Honestly, I know it's a shitty finisher, but I still get hype.
Okay.
Get hype over the worm.
Over the worm.
Come on, you see Scotty Too Hotty, you want him to do he comes out to a match, you want him to do the worm.
Yeah, I do. and I want him to do his dance moves with Rikishi and
that's what I'm saying. Like, entertain. I wouldn't put the worm top 5, but the people's elbow, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
But so I'm gonna do male and female together in the top 5. So I think for top 5, I'm going to do number 5 as Trish Stratus, chick kick. What do you think?
I liked her Stratisfaction better, or the Stratus. What was it where she did it's basically the Dudley dog off the road.
Yeah, Mickey James did the chick kick, but Trish had her own back kick. Number 4, I gotta say Walls of Jericho. Chris Jericho, man. He's another GOAT. You know that.
Yeah. I put him top 5.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
The walls,
break the walls down. Yeah, we had to do that. Hey, and I'm gonna say this right now. If you're watching, and I hope you are, and if not, I hope in the future you are, Jericho, you just made the list. Definitely Jericho had to put that guy in there. Again, a GOAT. Number 3 finisher, I'm gonna say Randy Orton, RKO, man.
I like.
What do you think?
I like the RKOs out of nowhere.
Yeah,
like that to me, it's like it's pretty. I like seeing that. Like, you don't know what's coming, just boom.
What about when he did it to Evan Bourne when Evan Bourne was coming off the top pole? I mean, he's done some amazing RKOs to Evan Bourne, Kofi Kingston. Wow, the time that he did the RKO to Kofi Kingston, you remember how pissed he was? And he was like, stupid, stupid, stupid. I mean, man, he was pissed. But Randy, man, he's a great heel. But yeah, definitely RKO for number 3 finisher. Number 2, and this has to be a tie just because it's pretty much the same thing. It's got to be Sting's Scorpion Deathlock and Bret the Hitman Hart's Sharpshooter. I mean, two great guys right there, you know. Number 1, and I know, you know, you guys out there can say whatever the hell you want, but number 1 for me, greatest finisher of all time, is at Swanton Bomb.
I love the Swanton Bomb.
Man, again, Jeff Hardy all day, man.
So for me, I like the 619.
Okay.
I like the 619. Like, I don't feel like not anybody can do that.
No. Well, there's a couple females doing it, you know, but nobody does a 619 like Ray. I mean,
I miss the old 619.
Okay.
Where he jumped off the rope and he did the flip.
Right.
To pin you.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, that's, you know, more of a dangerous move.
Right.
Like, I think now he just does, like a leg drop? It's a 619, then jumps off the rope.
Yeah.
Like a leg drop type of thing. But the old 619, when he debuted with WWE.
He's got Dominic doing it now.
Yeah. I told Ray, I said, Ray, if I ever wrestle, because I'm over here in Chicago, you know, our area code 630. I said it would be the 619 to the 630.
Oh, I remember that.
One finisher that I know a lot of people love, and I like this finisher, but I also think the reason why I wouldn't put it in top 5 would be the stunner, is because it has to be the person that has to sell it.
Yeah.
You got somebody who sucks at selling or doesn't sell it right or whatever the case may be, it doesn't look good. And I think when you have a finisher and you kind of depend on the other person, like, that's why I don't rate it top 5.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, obviously everybody's got to sell the finisher, but
true.
You know, like, in order to finesse that, you know, you just kind of just stand there like, nah. That's why I wouldn't put that in top 5.
Now that you mentioned the finisher, so you know Kevin Owens uses Stone Cold's finisher now. You know,
yeah,
the stunner, and I mean it's a stunner, you know, but it doesn't have that Stone Cold feeling, you know.
Right. Yeah. I loved when Eddie and what's his name, RVD were doing the
frog splash
off, the 5-star frog splash, and like that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like the pedigree.
Okay. I'm a big Chirps fan, so
I probably wouldn't put pedigree top 5, maybe top 10.
10, yeah, definitely.
Sweet chin music. I'm not a fan of sweet chin music. Like, it's a super kick.
So you know where that kick came from was gentleman Chris Adams back in World Class Championship Wrestling. He did that back kick, and that's where Shawn Michaels comes in with that kick.
I like the F5 as much as I don't like Brock Lesnar, but that F5 is a good. That move's sweet.
It does look like it would do some damage, right?
I mean, but then if you go F5, you're talking about the FU or the AA, and GTS, go to sleep. Like, those are all.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
good moves.
You could put GTS in the top 10, can't you?
Yeah, I say GTS top 10. Definitely GTS top 10. AA.
Yeah.
It's the FU to me. Like, I'm sorry, it's the FU.
Right.
And the F5, like those.
Okay, good list.
That's what I
definitely.
Like. All right, so next 5 at 5, number 3.
What is it?
Top 5 entrances.
I
don't know. I don't want to put like in any particular order, but old Rey Mysterio entrance when he used to jump through the floor.
When he shoots up?
Yeah. That was great.
That was fire.
Eddie Guerrero coming in with the lowrider.
Yeah.
It's a great entrance.
Would you put the Brood in there? I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You're talking about 3 guys coming out of the ground, surrounded by fire.
Yeah.
I mean, and then Edge did the Brood entrance just recently at SummerSlam, and I mean I liked it. I was waiting for that pop, at SummerSlam with the you think you know me, but when that Brood music hit, I was like, oh damn, he's going old school. So I love that. But after after the Brood entrance, they did the you think you know me. So
Yeah.
Edge has a great entrance, definitely.
Yeah. I like when he slid into the ring. Christian used to have a good entrance too with the fireworks coming. That curtain of fireworks that you should just spray down.
Yeah.
Trying to think who else.
Come on, man. Undertaker.
I mean,
When you hear that gong, doom, there you go.
Yeah, for sure.
Would you say Shawn?
I
Just
just like the way he
'cause
comes
of
out
the
and he
music,
dances.
man.
Yeah, like, but I mean, if I'm gonna throw that in there, I'm gonna throw the Hardys when they come out,
Yep.
with the dance too. Like, yeah.
Now,
I mean, they're entertaining. They're great to watch. I mean, it's not just like music hits and they just kind of like do a pose and come out.
right.
No, like, give me. I'm here for a show.
I will say, man, now that you said Hardy Boys, when they come out, what about, WWE kept putting Hardy Boys music with Jeff's entrance, Jeff solo entrance, And I know Jeff wanted that, his old music, and, he's got it back where it's, don't you see the writing on the walls, I'm glad to hear something like that. And then, when he jumps up there on that top turnbuckle and he does with the double face paint. But I like Jeff's entrance. I love the Hardy Boys entrance.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of top finishers, I forgot this top finisher.
Hit me.
3D.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I love that.
It's good. I mean, top 5?
I probably wouldn't put it top 5. Maybe
Top
top
10.
top 20.
20, there you go.
Probably top
Okay.
20, but
Now I don't feel bad.
but yeah, 3D
Yeah.
or the why that. Yeah, come on, that was so play.
Oh, man.
Let's see what other entrances. I mean, would you even put like Triple H's entrance is pretty fire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, how many guys can, perfect that spit every single time?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Or Kane just come out with that fireworks.
Yeah. What about the first time Kane came up? Was it Bad Blood? Right?
I think so.
Yeah. 90, 97, 98.
90. I want to say 98.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Just put it in the comments.
Yeah. When he ripped the cage. Yeah. I mean, Kane does have an amazing entrance,
Actually, it might be actually 97.
Yeah, I thought. But again, comment, please. Correct us.
Yeah, definitely. I'll take correction.
Yeah, definitely. Me too.
So yeah, I mean, I think those would be my top 5 entrances.
Real quick, what do you think about Charlotte Flair's entrance? Because it's pretty similar to Ric Flair's entrance. I mean, Ric Flair, when he came out, when you heard that drum beat, and then he's got like this $10,000 robe on, and now, Charlotte's is like the remix of Flair's entrance, of Ric's entrance.
Like a modernized version. I don't know. I don't get me wrong. I love to hear the woo.
Right.
Like I love to hear that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I say leave that for Rick.
Yeah.
That's an unpopular opinion, but
Man, I think we missed one.
which one?
Bray Wyatt.
Definitely.
Come on. I mean, when those lights go out and everybody's got their phone, I mean, you're talking a 15,000 seat arena and you've got probably 10,000 phones lit up like fireflies. And he's walking to the ring with that lantern, you know, in the shape of his face. I mean, that's a hell of an entrance, you know?
Yeah, even the Fiend.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. I don't know why they cut him.
Yeah.
Like I don't get that.
I mean,
at all.
Great gimmick, right?
Yeah, and Alexa Bliss is still in the gimmick.
Yeah. I mean, I love Alexa, don't get me wrong, but how do you branch off with somebody else's gimmick and that person that started the gimmick is gone? I mean, what the hell were they doing wrong?
That's like Hurricane and Rosie and Hurricane leave.
Yeah.
And it's just Rosie.
Yeah. I mean, shit, right? The superhero in training, right?
I love that tag team.
Yeah. That shit was good.
So, man.
The Hamburglar, right? Right.
So, going back to Bray Wyatt and you know, bad decisions and everything like that. So it comes to mind the other number 5, top 5 underused, underrated wrestlers.
Man. Like of all time, right? Not
all time.
Not just present. Because I could think of a couple present guys that are underrated, underused, underappreciated. But I would say, I mean, definitely Bray Wyatt. I put him at top 10 now that he's not with the company anymore, you know? But so top 5, I'm going to start off with the guy like Bam Bam Bigelow. I mean, you got a almost 400-pound guy that, you know, can run circles around these guys half his size, and Vince didn't know how to use them. I mean, I know everybody was hyped about the whole Bam Bam Bigelow match with him and Lawrence Taylor, but come on, man. I mean, they could have put him in a better match than that and showcased him a little bit more as a heel, you know? Number 4, and I know a lot of you are probably going to be like, what? And you might even think the same, but I'm going to say this only because I know this guy, watching him from back to the old days of world-class championship wrestling. And when I say number 4, I'm talking about Doink the Clown.
Okay.
So, Doink the Clown, if you've ever watched this guy's matches, I mean, you know, yeah, it's a little, you know, dark comedy, but he's got some like twisted ring psychology to him. And I say that because back in the day, he was Maniac Matt Bourne, and he ran with another guy, Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer, back in World Class Championship Wrestling. But Maniac Matt Bourne, Matt Osborne, God rest your soul, by the way. So he goes to WWE and he becomes the original Doink the Clown. And he's attacking guys like Bret Hart and other big name guys with things like he may have like a fake cast or something, and you know, he might take that fake arm off and clobber the guy with it. And I mean, great heel that, you know, again, he wasn't used the way he should have been. I mean, he could have had some better matches than he did. Man, another one that was definitely underappreciated. Another guy we lost, you know, Rick Rude. Ravishing Rick Rude. How is a guy that has the look like Rick Rude? He's got the mic skills. I mean, he was running down guys on the mic like Ultimate Warrior. I mean, yeah, I love Warrior. I'm wearing a shirt. But he ran him down on the mic. He ran down Jake the Snake on the mic. The guy looks like $1 million, has a chiseled body, and why is it that Rick Rude never, ever, ever won a world championship in WWF, WWE?
I mean, same thing, like who's on my list? Jake the Snake.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But again, this is why Rick Rude is probably the only wrestler that could show up on Monday Night Raw and Monday Nitro on the same night, because, hey, he's not being used right over here, and Rick Rude left for, they say Rick Rude left because of the whole Montreal screwjob thing, and I'm glad he jumped shift and went over to WCW. I mean, I was watching Rick Rude back in the day of, again, World Class Championship Wrestling and NWA. He was an NWA tag team holder with Raging Bull Manny Fernandez. I mean, he should have had, 5-star matches and main event matches more than, he probably did. Number 2, underappreciated, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, another one we lost. I mean, look at all these guys we lost, man. And these guys were great. Mr. Perfect, he's second generation. His dad, Larry the Axe Hennig, his son,
Curtis Axel.
Right. But he never held a WWF championship, World Heavyweight Championship, He had 5-star matches with Bret Hart. He ends up being a valet for or a manager for, Triple H later down the road back in 96. In fact, I was at back then it was Rosemont Horizon, now Allstate Arena. Triple H coming down to the ring with Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig, in his corner. Definitely Perfect, underappreciated. So, but man, I hope all you watching this agree with this. I hope you agree with this. But my number one spot for all guys, very underused, underappreciated. This guy holds the state for actual wrestling at Kent State University. You know who I'm talking about? Dolph Ziggler.
Definitely.
I mean, why is it that, okay, so you bring up guys to the roster, you bring in these new guys, you have them work with a guy like Dolph, and yeah, you want to get the guys over, so you put them with, a great guy like Dolph Ziggler. What am I saying? Ziggler. He's a great, ring technician, I'd say. He can work the mat. But why is he always losing? I mean, sure, he's had the championship, he cashed in his Money in the Bank, but why isn't he pushed for another title run?
I don't think he's ever going to get a push again.
No, I don't think so either. And, I didn't put this guy in the top 5, but definitely in the top 10, maybe even number 6 spot. And you got to agree, is John Morrison.
I say Morrison and Miz. I mean, Miz recently had a title shot run, but how long that lasts? To drop it to Lashley?
Yeah, no. That was bullshit.
Yeah, and Miz puts in work.
Oh yeah. I mean
Morrison, Ziggler, they put in the work, and
Miz has great mic skills.
I don't understand it. I don't understand why they're not top contenders.
Yeah.
Another top contender for me, top 5 underrated, Christian as a solo.
Ooh, yeah.
He was great in was it TNA?
Yeah. He did some good matches with Chris Jericho, before he left for TNA.
I don't understand why he wasn't pushed.
Yeah. But I mean, they're using him the right way over in AEW now. I mean, man's got a belt. Somebody missed the boat on that.
Another one I'd say, again, maybe I'm just biased, Matt Hardy.
Yeah, I agree.
Matt, great wrestler.
Great mic skills, right?
Yeah, I mean, he sucked at first.
Yeah, but he worked it up. Yeah. He has the whole delete gimmick, right. And
now, and what the biggest title he's ever won was ECW championship.
Yeah, same with John Morrison. I mean, what does that say about the ECW championship? I mean,
right, kind of feels a little disrespectful.
Yeah,
and those ECW guys are some great great champions over there.
I mean, those guys were hardcore, you know? Sandman, Sabu, you know?
Taz.
Yeah. RVD.
So
those guys put in work.
Another underappreciated. I would probably say like, I mean, they use them later, but Jamal and Rosie, like Jamal ended up becoming Umaga, but look how powerful Umaga was, and you had that talent in your roster, for so long, and you just sleep on that. Like you could have.
Well, so they were good when they first came in as a 3-minute warning.
Definitely, they were high fly. They were big guys who were high flyers.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, some of these guys when they first come in, you don't know what to do with them. But you know, if they don't evolve, like I mean, he evolved into Umaga, and I mean, he put on great matches. He was pretty damn good heel. You know.
Mm-hmm.
He had some classic matches with Jeff, But, I mean, if you say it like that, then you've also got to look at a guy like John Morrison, who became an established, tag team holder, IC holder, right? But when he came in, he came in as Eric Bischoff's nephew, right?
Yeah,
Johnny Nitro.
He had so many names. It was Johnny Nitro,
right?
It was somebody else too. I think before he got the Morrison gimmick.
I don't remember, but
he was Nitro for a while because remember Eminem.
Yeah. But I mean, that was a good tag team. Now that you mention that,
Yeah. So I don't know. I definitely. I agree with your list. I throw those names in there. Definitely Christian.
Yeah, cool.
Jamal and Rosie.
Yeah.
And for sure, like Jake the Snake. I mean, maybe like his drugs got him in trouble, and that's why he never, soared or anything like that. But I don't know, to never get that strap.
Yeah, or to never be in the same conversation as a guy like Hulk Hogan,
Mm-hmm.
But. Yeah, definitely. Man, Jake's great,
Underrated.
Yeah.
Underused. So, now the last one. Obviously, we're going to go the opposite side.
Uh-oh. Hit me with it.
Top 5 overrated, overused.
Oh, man.
I mean, I'd hate to say it, but Brock Lesnar, like, as much... They use him too much. I say he's overused. Wouldn't say he's overrated.
No, not overrated, but yeah, overused.
He's overused.
I'd say. I mean, so if you say overrated or overused, yeah, I definitely put Brock in that conversation.
Yeah.
Would you say Bobby Lashley?
I'm kind of tired of Lashley.
So here's my thing with Bobby Lashley and why I would put him in that list is he can make a good heel, and with him having MVP on his side, MVP's good on the mic. And I just don't see him holding that championship for as long as he has. I mean, what for? I mean, he could still dominate and, tear people apart without having that strap,
Yeah, definitely. Who else would I say is definitely overrated and overused? Man, I'd even go like Roman Reigns. How many times they push him down your throat? Like, he's better now.
He's 10 times better.
10 times better now, but tired of seeing him.
Are you?
I'm tired. I'm tired of Lashley. I'm also tired of like Drew McIntyre versus Lashley. Like, how many times are we gonna see that?
I mean, I feel bad that when McIntyre won his championship, there were no fans, with the whole COVID, the pandemic. And I would love to see, a good title run for Drew McIntyre. Man, that guy works. He's great. But, yeah, I don't want to keep seeing Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley, you know? And we mentioned this earlier, Charlotte Flair. I mean, I like Charlotte, but when we say overused, she doesn't have to take that spotlight away from, you know, other people like, let's say Rhea Ripley. You know, she hasn't been on the main roster that long.
Right.
And she's another one that can do some damage. But Nikki Ash, I mean, you want to put the strap on Charlotte, so let's basically shit all over Nikki Ash. And this whole thing with her being an almost superhero, they need to take that shit away. So my hopes at SummerSlam was that she was going to come out back as Nikki Cross. And, you know, the whole crazy persona, that whole thing with the superhero and the cape and, you know, kissing babies and shit like that. I mean, that's not working. But you've got to do that so that you can steer the spotlight on Charlotte Flair, you know?
Yeah. You know one person,
and I'm not hating on Charlotte, you know, but
definitely overused. Like, she doesn't need to go for the strap every time.
No. Just have a battle, you know?
One person I think is also definitely overrated. I say two people. Shayna Baszler.
Okay.
Overrated. And Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Like, she's terrible.
Well, she just keeps, you know, injuring folks. I mean, I like Nia. You know, Nia's she's a beast in the ring, you know? And I will say, you know, I've met her a couple times. You have too. She's super nice.
Yeah.
But I think they just don't know how to utilize her the way they should. Like, me personally, I don't know if I would have stuck her with Shayna Baszler. I was hoping that they would have put Nia Jax or Tamina with Roman Reigns faction. And I hope we touch on factions later, but I think she's being overused, like you said, you know, with Shayna, but maybe as a singles competitor, they can definitely do something better with her.
Yeah. I feel like, you know, not putting her in a faction, like, I think that's a no-brainer. Like, how do you not do that, you know? Like, yeah. I can't even talk because I can't even fathom, like, how do you not even think of that possibility?
Yeah.
You know, so speaking of factions and stuff like that, like, there really isn't that anymore. If you think about it,
no.
How many factions are there in WWE? Like New Day?
And
MVP.
Well, they lost one of them.
Right. So now they're just a tag team.
Right.
MVP and what?
New Day is another day now.
Yeah, and like we're MVP, and remember who we had Shelton Benjamin and damn, forgot his name.
Cedric Alexander.
Yeah. And then they just drop them like super quick.
I mean, that was a pretty tight faction.
Yeah, and then they just drop.
Yeah, disbanded.
Like, I don't get it.
Well, I think Vince doesn't like factions, right?
That's what it's starting to seem like.
Yeah, I don't think he's a big fan of factions. If he is, I think he liked it back in the day, like the Attitude Era. You know, back then you had DX,
the Nation.
The Nation, yeah. Man, the Nation and DX had some battles. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you put Big E back on New Day. You telling me you can't have Big E and New Day and all them, you know, even throw a couple more in there, run against Roman?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Against Roman and Usos.
Right.
That'd be a nice little war.
Now, I mean, like, even if you want to throw, you know, some more people in that mix, you throw Nia Jax over with them.
And Tamina.
Say you throw Tamina. Now you have like all the Samoans.
Yeah.
On that side.
Man, they would dominate, dude.
Right, and then you probably throw somebody like Sasha Banks over with New Day.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not a big Sasha Banks fan, but
I mean,
I think definitely the whole Samoan clan, man, they could
yeah, they can
tear
definitely.
WWE apart, you know? But now you mentioned Roman. What about the Shield? That was a good faction, right?
I'm surprised they lasted as long as they did.
Yeah. Oh, so current, well, not really current, but most recently, Retribution.
They could have done so much with that.
Man, I mean,
So much.
the
The
storyline,
storyline itself was
it was believable.
yeah.
I mean, you had them tearing apart, the dressing room and cutting out the power, like the damn wrestling screen just went blank. And then next thing you know, they come back and guys are laying in the dressing room, beat the shit. That was a good storyline right there. I mean, that makes me think about when they had Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
And the Nexus, just like, they literally tore the ring to shreds. I mean, they ripped apart the ring down to the boards,
Yeah. I mean, you could have done so much with that.
Yeah.
You know,
Today's factions, man, they're not really there, right?
they're not really there. Managers aren't a thing anymore. Valets aren't a thing anymore.
No. You think they should bring back managers or valets?
I think so, but I wouldn't put somebody who's a talented wrestler
Like Adam Cole?
as a manager. I think you should maybe specifically train or maybe specifically seek out these guys who are basically management material. Guys who probably can't wrestle well, but got great mic skills.
Right. Or bring in a veteran, But
Like, yeah, you don't even if you even think about it, the way of the gimmicks are gone.
yeah, they are.
I mean, you don't. How many gimmick wrestlers are there out? I mean,
There's not many. I mean, to me, I like gimmick wrestlers. Now it's everybody wants to have a first name and a last name, What happened to, like you had The Undertaker, you had Doink,
you had The Fiend.
had Kane, The Fiend. I mean,
gone.
yeah. I mean,
Retired.
they've got a couple guys over in AEW. Look at Luchasaurus.
Or Ascension.
Yeah. There's a couple mask guys over in AEW too, and like me, I think of the mask guys as gimmicks as well. Look at Penta.
Mm-hmm.
Penta's a great wrestler, Yeah, you put a mask on a guy, and yeah, he's a gimmick. He's not just your first name and your last name. He's not, Bob Jones or whatever.
It's not Oscar Gutierrez. It's Rey Mysterio.
Right. I don't think Bob Jones would have been a good fucking wrestler anyway.
I'm surprised they didn't put Dominic in a mask. Honestly, just being honest.
Well, so they put him in like that half hood thing when he first came out, and that thing was driving me crazy because every time like he would do like an aerial move, the hood would like go over his head and he'd constantly be doing this, to take it off. So it's like either stick a mask on the kid or just lose the fucking jacket, with the hood.
You know what's crazy? Like Vince don't like the face paint either.
No, he doesn't, right?
No, like, because remember when Baylor was coming out
Okay,
with
yeah.
that, and then he kind of told Jeff Hardy to tone it down a little bit.
Well, he probably doesn't like the face paint on these guys today, or maybe at least not on the smaller guys. Like, yeah, if you're saying that he's telling Jeff to tone it down on the face paint, I mean, I think Jeff looks cool with the face paint, And I mean, that's some damn art right there.
I mean, look at Darby Allin. You telling me Darby Allin's face paint? That's phenomenal.
Darby Allin. I mean, a veteran like Sting.
Like at first, when I first was introduced to Darby Allin, it was his figure, and I was like, I don't know what this guy's trying to do. But then I saw it like in person,
Yeah.
like on TV. It's like, damn, it's fucking badass. Like,
Right. Well, and a lot of the guys back in the day, they have face paint. Look at Demolition.
mm-hmm.
Look at Powers of Pain. Barbarian and Warlord. Who else would Doink? I mean,
Goldust?
he's a fucking clown, yeah, Goldust, man.
I mean, like, I don't get it. I mean, if it looks badass and paint ain't hurting your wrestling skills.
No. Yeah, definitely.
So,
Hey, did we talk about best heels of all time?
best heels of all time.
I'm trying to think. No, right?
No, we didn't talk about best heels, but
Should we throw some names in the hat?
let's throw some names. I'd definitely say Jericho's a great heel.
Yeah, he's definitely up there.
So okay, I got a game. Let's play a game.
Let's do it.
All right.
Can we get a sip of Coke first? Wait, are you fresh out?
I'm
or?
out. But that's all right.
Man,
I've been drinking
All
between the takes.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm gonna throw a name.
And I'm only drinking this because I'm not driving.
You tell me, better off face or heel?
Oh, let's do it.
Shawn Michaels.
Oh man, I like him as a heel. I mean, bad Shawn Michaels, and I don't mean heel as in let's bring up Screwjob or screw over Brett. I like Shawn as a heel. How about you?
I like him. I like him as face. Honestly,
Okay, I mean
Face.
he's a great face. Don't
Great
get me
face.
wrong.
Triple H.
Oh man, I will say this: Triple H. I don't know about top 5 of all time, but definitely top 10. Triple H is a heel.
Heel. Definitely heel.
I mean, he's a hell of a heel all day.
Randy Orton.
Heel all day.
Like some people should never switch sides.
Nope.
Randy Orton is
Nope.
up there.
Yep. I mean, I like the whole, thing he's got going with Riddle, and I'm a huge Riddle fan, man. I mean, he's got great, punchlines and, comic and hey, Randy, I mean, I love Riddle. He's cool as hell. But I think they're going to break that thing up fast because they're going to turn Orton heel again, and have him turn on.
He's always heel.
On Riddle. Yeah, he's always heel. He's a Viper, man.
All right.
Who else you got?
Stone Cold.
Oh, man. Well, so the thing with Stone Cold is whether he's a heel or a face, you love this dude. I mean, he's just that damn good. But I like him as a heel. However, when he tries to be a face, yeah, I mean, he's got comic, he's got comedy.
I think that's why I like him better as face because the comic and because he's funny.
Yeah. I mean, look at the whole beer bath thing,
Mm-hmm.
Vince, I'll say Vince sold the shit out of that, though. I mean, he's swimming in a pool of beer, Who does that shit?
I got a hard one for you.
Oh, go ahead.
Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, man. I like Eddie's as a face, but he is a good heel.
He's a great heel.
Great
heel.
He's sneaky,
I liked him when he was that borderline face heel when he used to cheat.
Yeah.
He was a face but who cheated and it made you laugh.
Right. I mean, he won the title using taking his boot off, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good heel. I like Eddie as a heel.
Rock.
Oh man. So Rock was amazing when he was in Nation of Domination, and just the shit he would say on the mic, and he's got his $500 shirt and his $1,000 watch, whatever it costs. But I mean, he sold the hell out of Nation of Domination as a heel. But I mean, they love him as a face. I mean, he's a good face. What do you think?
I like him better as face. I mean, I feel like I get more screen time with Rock as face.
Yeah, definitely.
Undertaker.
Oh man. I like Undertaker as a heel. I mean, he's another one just like Austin, you know, whether he's good or bad, you got to love Taker. But I like him as a heel. You know,
Yeah.
he did some damage as a heel, you know?
Like even when he was I forgot what he called it when he was riding a motorcycle.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't too keen on that.
But he was pretty good as heel.
Yeah.
Then just pretty much dominating over everybody.
Right. I mean, you want to go real old school, look at back when he stuffed Ultimate Warrior in a casket and shut it on him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like trying to pry it open. I mean, that was, to me, you know, being a teenager, I was like, man, this shit's pretty cool, you know?
Another name, definitely top heel of all time.
Okay.
Ric Flair. Definitely better as heel.
Yeah. Are we going to do top 5 heels?
Top 5 heels, I say definitely Ric Flair.
Okay.
Jericho.
Yeah. Jericho's good.
Sure. Man, who else? Piper for sure.
Yeah. I got 5 in mind.
Who you got?
I gotta say, man, and just, you know, again, he's one of the first guys I ever saw was Abdullah the Butcher. I mean, if you look at this guy's work, I mean, this is a guy that, I mean, if you're a kid watching wrestling, you're like, holy shit, you know? It might put some fear in you. Number 4, I gotta say Orton. I mean, Orton's one of the best heels of all time. He, again, like you and I said, he should never go face, you know? Number 3, and maybe a lot of people think, damn, why didn't I think of this guy? But Edge. I mean,
the Rated R Superstar is definitely better as a heel.
Definitely. Man, look at Edge when he was facing Kane and terrorizing Paul Bearer and kidnapping Paul Bearer and, you know, shoving him down a flight of steps while he's in a wheelchair. I mean, or Edge when he was with the Brood. I mean, man, he's a great heel. But yeah, definitely, he's the Rated R Superstar, you know? Roddy Piper, man. I mean, you think of times back in the day with, I mean, he's busting open Jimmy Snuka with the coconut, you know? But, or you look at WrestleMania where he's in a match with Goldust. I mean, you put him in a battle with anybody, and he's just great. But yeah, he's a great heel.
Definitely,
you know?
For sure.
Another guy, he, you know, started WrestleMania. My number 1 heel of all time, I gotta say, is Randy Macho Man Savage. I mean, this guy. You would look at how he would treat Elizabeth and, you know, use her as a shield. And you're like, man, this dude, what the hell? You know, you look at him like, I want to slap the shit out of you. But
he sold it.
He sold it. He sold the hell out of it. I mean, he's over there, you know, terrorizing George Animal Steel or Ricky Steamboat. Man, when he, you know, messed up Ricky Steamboat's neck on the guardrail, I was like, man, this dude, what the fuck? I was like, I was a kid and I was pissed. But that's because he sold it as a heel. I mean, he was great, you know? And even when he went over to WCW, man, just great heel overall.
For sure. For sure.
Man, have we talked about technical wrestlers?
We haven't talked about technical wrestlers because we'll say another who's definitely a technical wrestler, but I say is a great heel. To me.
Who's that?
Kurt Angle.
Oh man, definitely.
Like he was funny as a face, but he was way better as a heel.
Yeah, definitely.
I liked him as heel better.
What about a match with Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon? Remember, he tried to put him through the glass. The glass. First time he did it, it didn't break. And he did it again, and man, that thing shattered. I mean, that was a good match right there. Kurt is a great heel. When he's face, he has great slapstick humor, you know?
Right.
Like, again, the whole thing with him and Austin doing the whole Jimmy Crack Corn and, wearing the little hat, and he's good.
And him and Brock doing the milk contest.
Yeah, there you go.
That was funny.
Slamming, milk, and he had the milk truck, remember?
Yeah.
With the hose. I mean, oh man, I don't know if I'd want to be in that front row and be doused with milk. I mean,
it's gonna spoil by the time you get home.
Right. I know it does a body good, but damn,
So technical wrestlers. So who would you say up there? So definitely, as I said, Kurt Angle, for sure.
I would put Kurt Angle definitely. Maybe number 4 or 5. Okay, let's put Kurt at number 5 as far as being technical wrestler. Number 4, I'm gonna put Eddie Guerrero. I mean, he's a multi-generation wrestler. Yeah. I mean, he knew how to work the mat. Number 3, I actually got a tie. I'm gonna go with Bret Hart. I mean, the guy grew up in a wrestling family. I mean, in the dungeon, Bret Hart, great technical wrestler. But I tie him with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Guy, I mean, look, put on a 5-star match with Macho Man Savage, which is considered one of the greatest matches of all time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely put that up there. I don't know if it's my favorite match of all time, but it's definitely, I mean, it goes down in history. Steamboat is great. And, again, all the wars that he had with Ric Flair. Number 2, and, I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I know what he did was shit. It was bullshit, and he's not here. Chris Benoit. Great mat worker, right?
Yeah, definitely. Christopher Benoit's up there for me. Entertaining.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to me, you say Chris Benoit, like, you say that, you also can't leave out
Dynamite Kid.
Daniel Bryan.
Oh, okay, yeah. True.
Like, both great technical wrestlers. Like, you watch Daniel Bryan, it kind of reminds you of Chris Benoit a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so number 1 for me is Dean Malenko. I mean, he's underrated, being in WWE, but you look at Dean Malenko back in the day of WCW, I mean, they call him the man of 1,000 moves for a reason. I mean, he is a technical wrestler. So, yeah, props to Dean, definitely number 1,
Yeah. I mean, you definitely gotta make sure you have that.
Yeah.
And, on the same breath, you're going to talk about ring psychology as well.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can't talk about technical wrestling without ring psychology either.
Let's do. Should we do a top 5 for that?
Let's go. Might as well. Let's go.
On.
Top 5 at 10.
Let's do it. Top 5. Ring psychology, top 5. I'm going to go with number 5, starting off with Roddy Piper. What do you think?
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
I mean,
100%. I'm pulling Leon. I agree.
Yeah. Okay. Full Leon.
It's Leon.
Okay.
I agree.
Just nod. I mean, Roddy Piper just hit his, presence, him staring down Mr. T, getting in his face, things like that. He had some good wars back in the day with Adrian Adonis. And, I mean, Piper was a mastermind as far as ring psychology. Let's go number 4 to Chris Jericho.
Definitely.
Yeah, I got to say it again, man. I don't care. You get mad at me. If you like it, comment. If you don't, comment anyway. But Chris Jericho, you just made the list again. Number 4, Chris Jericho. Man, this guy has really good ring psychology. The whole thing with when we went from 1999 into 2000 and doing the whole Y2J thing. I mean, just his presence, whether he's got his light up jacket, he's a GOAT, man. So look over in AEW right now. So Chris Jericho, and I love it because Jericho will walk to the ring, smiling from ear to ear, and every single person in that arena is singing his song Judas, and he's just eating it up, man, because he's like, when they do that, in his mind, he's probably saying, you know what? I got them in the palm of my hand. I got 10,000 people right now. I'm not at a concert. I'm not performing right now as Fozzy. I'm performing right now as Chris Jericho. But I got these 10,000 people in the palm of my hand because they're all singing my song, my entrance song. I mean, he's a GOAT, man. Definitely. Number 3, I got a tie for you.
Another tie?
Another tie, man.
All
Let's
right,
do a tie. So number 3, Dustin Rhodes. Gold Dust.
Not Big Dusty?
Not Big Dusty, man. He ain't stirring the pot. We're talking Gold Dust. I mean, anybody that can be a straight up cowboy like Dustin Rhodes and still play a character like Gold Dust, I mean, he's a mastermind right there. But he's got to share that spotlight on number 3 with Edge. What do you think? Edge has good ring psychology. I mean, he can mess with your mind.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't put Edge in top 5, maybe top 10.
Oh, I don't know, man. I gotta disagree.
Top 10.
I got rep for all the Edge heads out there, man. Number 2, ring psychology, I gotta say, is Randy Savage, Randy Macho Man Savage. So, I mean, again, one of the top matches go down in history is Macho Man versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, right? So Macho Man, as such a professional as he was, would lay out his matches on paper, and then he wants to rehearse it as well. I mean, this guy was such a perfectionist and had, the psychology for the ring where, he's calling out this spot by number because he's got like 39 moves memorized. I mean, fuck, I can't memorize, 9 things. This guy's memorizing like 39 moves for one match, I mean, we're talking a 20, 30-minute match. But again, just a perfectionist. But number 1, man, I got to give this spot for number 1 ring psychology has to go to Jake the Snake Roberts. I mean, the things that this guy does, and not just because, he's got the snake and he unloads it from the duffel bag, but I mean, Jake he can give an interview and look in that camera and it's like, man, this dude looks kind of evil, And Jake,
he can get you to hate him.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. Definitely gets you to hate you. Get
him
to
hate him.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. What about you? You agree with that list? Or?
I wouldn't put Edge up there. But,
oh yeah.
I'd probably say, for me, other name I throw in there, I mean, of course, Ric Flair.
Okay.
Make that list for me because he knew how to push your buttons. But you know who wasn't really a wrestler but had great ring psychology?
Who's that?
Man, it was fucking tip of my tongue. Now I fucking forgot.
Should we pause for station identification?
He came out with that book. Remember, he got stabbed because he was a manager.
Okay.
He got stabbed because he got people to hate him so bad. And I think his catchphrase was like, "You pencil neck geeks."
Oh, you're talking about Classy Freddie Blassie.
Yes, thank you. I'm sorry. That's my fault. I should have.
Great manager.
Right, great manager. But, yeah. I mean, took some ring psychology there to.
Yeah, definitely.
They got, basically run that and have that in the palm of his hand. Freddie Blassie. That's one guy I wish I met, for sure.
Yeah. Man, I don't want to go off the topic or anything, but now that you mention him, we definitely got to throw in the mix of, favorite managers. And then we got to, when you say a guy that you wish you would have met, we also got to talk later about guys we wish we would have met, while they were still alive.
For sure.
But yeah, go ahead, finish with that list, man.
Yeah, I mean, Freddie Blassie to me is up there. I mean, granted, he wasn't a wrestler, but he still had great ring psychology.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I would say Cena.
Okay.
Punk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. Man, I missed that.
Yeah, so I think that would be my list. So you did mention, I definitely wanted to meet Freddie Blassie. So I'll give you two. Who's somebody that you wish you met, and who's your favorite person you ever met?
Oh man, I probably got like a handful of guys I wish I would have met,
or anybody you still wish who's still currently alive, maybe too. That.
Well, no, let's go with the original question. Let's go with guys that I wish I would have met, but if they were still here. Yokozuna. Man, that dude is huge. I've seen Yokozuna leaving the arena in a vehicle, but I mean, just to see him like in person and shake this dude's hand or get a picture with him, I think that would have been really cool.
I'd say Andre.
Yeah. Andre, I don't know if I would put Andre up there in like top 5, but I definitely want to meet him. Just, I mean, he's a beast, then he's a legend. For me, Texas Tornado and WWE, but Kerry Von Erich. I mean, I was a huge Von Erich fan growing up, but definitely they say Kerry was probably one of the coolest dudes of the Von Erich clan, and I mean he had the great look about him and good wrestler, but definitely Kerry Von Erich. Another guy I really wish I would have met was Macho Man. I mean,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean,
I snooze on that.
Yeah, same here. Anybody on the that's alive right now that I wish I could meet? I would say Sting. I got to see Sting perform recently, just last week at Dynamite, but never got to meet Sting. I think that would have been cool.
I heard he's really nice.
Yeah. I wish I could meet Ultimate Warrior, but at the same time, not just because I hear, while he was alive, not good to the fans, I was reading in Bret Hart's book that he snubbed a kid that was there for, Make-A-Wish meet and greet. That's not cool,
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I had a chance to meet Ultimate Warrior. I snoozed on it.
Really?
I was like, I passed. Obviously James meets everybody,
Oh.
You got a buddy James who's, if you come into town, you're a wrestler, you're making his list.
Yeah.
So I passed on it. I could have, but I mean, do I regret? I mean, obviously, I could have met China too, and I mean, she passed away, but I don't think I know she passed away, but I could have, again, snoozed on it.
Never met her.
I say one person that I really, really want to meet, more than likely just to finish my autograph collection, Sable.
Sable. Oh, I met her. Let me see. Sable was really cool. So I met Sable in 2003 in the hotel lobby. And so I took a picture of Sable back in 96. She was coming down the aisle down to the ring with Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That was his original valet. So I got a picture of her, and then I had another picture of her where she was ringside with the Sable Bomb outfit on. So I meet Sable in the lobby of the hotel back in 03, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, hey. I was like, can I get a picture with you? She's like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then after, I take a picture of her. I told her, I said, I really wish I would have known that you were going to be here. I said, I would have had you sign a picture. She's like, oh, you don't have it? And I said, I do, but it's in my car. And she's like, oh, where's your car? And I said, it's behind the hotel, it's, in the parking lot. And she just looked at me. She said, do you want to go get it? And I looked at her like, wait, what? No wrestler or anyone involved in wrestling ever says something like that. But, man, she was so nice. Sable was so down to earth and said, just that. Do you want to go get it? And I'll wait for you. And I was like, sure. I ran and hauled ass to the parking lot, flipped through my binder, grabbed the pictures, came back to the lobby, and I was surprised she was still standing there. And she signed the 2 pictures, and man, I still have those pictures.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, I was definitely late to the party on that.
Wow.
Man. Yeah, but this was definitely one person I would like to meet, get my Playboy sign.
Yeah.
Finish off my collection there.
I would get both Playboys signed.
I got her solo, and then the one with Tori. Well, I got both with Tori, because remember, there's 2 different covers.
Right. I still have the first Playboy with Sable, never even opened, still sealed in the plastic.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right.
So we're going to try to wrap some things up. We're going on almost on 2 hours now.
Man, for real?
For real.
Time flies when you're talking good stuff.
Hell yeah. We definitely got a lot of stories, so we're going to try to do this again for sure.
Hey, can we talk real quick?
But we're going to...
favorite WrestleMania moment?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Man.
Before we conclude, I got a couple things. Let's do favorite WrestleMania moment and favorite match. Don't even have to be a WrestleMania moment, but let's go favorite WrestleMania moment first.
I'm going to say favorite WrestleMania moment. It not necessarily a match, but just a moment itself is when Chris Benoit wins the title at WrestleMania 20. And when he turns around, Eddie Guerrero is standing there clapping, and these guys just embrace each other. The 2 guys that have been down the road for so many years, and they're both standing there with the title, just, embracing each other. I mean, these are grown-ass men that are so happy that they've got tears of joy. I mean, man, if that moment doesn't do anything for you as a wrestling fan, then you need to go watch it. WrestleMania 20.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. All that confetti coming down.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I'm glad I was able to watch that like as it happened.
Hell yeah.
I'm not watching it on repeat or
right.
Hey, you remember this? Like, no, I never even seen that. Like, I'm glad I was able to see that.
Same here.
So then, favorite match of all time.
Oh man,
I know it's hard. So we can even do top.
Can
5
I do 3?
Yeah, give me 3.
Let's do 3. Number 3, I got to kick it off with, I don't care what people say, man, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 18. What do you think?
You're stealing mine. Oh,
come on, man. Come on.
That was amazing.
Man, I mean, these folks are, they are so behind Hogan, they're cheering this man on. And it's like.
And he was heel. And he was NWO heel.
Yes. But, I mean, again, Hogan puts he puts asses in seats. He's a GOAT, man. I mean, I know Hogan's got the big boot and he's got the leg drop. And if he didn't do one of those 2 moves, you'd probably rip up your ticket and walk out of the building. But, man, that's a great match. If you haven't seen it, go watch it, WrestleMania 18. Number 2 match, I got to say, I think this gets overlooked a lot, is Triple H versus Cactus Jack at Royal Rumble 2000. I mean, Mick Foley is just beat to hell, bleeding, and, thumbtacks are thrown into the ring. And, I mean, this is a man that just doesn't want to give up. But, I mean, Triple H, great heel, like we said earlier, but great match. Me, personally, this is my favorite WrestleMania match, or probably best match of all time. Even above, Steamboat and Savage. I put this above Hogan and Andre. My favorite match of all time is Edge and Christian versus the Dudley Boys versus the Hardy Boys at WrestleMania 17.
TLC 2?
Yeah, WrestleMania 17 was an amazing pay-per-view. Probably, one of the best pay-per-views in my opinion. But that has to be one of the greatest matches of all time. You agree?
I agree. I love TLC 1, TLC 2.
Yeah.
I mean, they kept trying to shove it down your throat with some more like TLC 3 and like, come on, man.
No.
Like, just give me a TLC match.
Right.
But, I mean, nobody did it better than Edge, Christian, Dudleys, and Hardys. Like, there is no better.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
I'm sorry, there isn't.
Man, I've met all 6 of those dudes, and all 6 of them have been super nice.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. Rock and Hogan, definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, man, even, like, Rock, like, there's so many good Rock matches, though.
Rock versus Austin.
Rock versus Austin.
They've done 3 WrestleManias against each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I mean, that is a great show right there.
Yeah. I also like the Triple H is WrestleMania 18 again. Triple H versus Jericho.
Okay, yeah. Good match. Two goats, man.
Or even this, when Jericho became the undisputed champ. When he wrestled Stone Cold first.
Right.
And was the second? Was the second one Rock? Or no?
Yeah. Well, that's how he became the undisputed champion. Wait, get this. Jericho, you just made the list again. Right? Come on.
Come on, Jericho.
Man, Jericho, we want you on this podcast, man.
Come on the show. We didn't even got to talk wrestling.
Nope.
We drop some other top 5s on you. I want to hear your top 5s.
Right.
Make a list of questions for you, Jericho. Pop one on us.
Yeah. We're here, man.
Come to Chicago. As Joshua would say, you heard it here first. So that's all I got for now. We're definitely gonna do this again.
Definitely.
Any top 5s that you want to hear, just definitely let us know. Just leave a comment down below. You want to be a guest on the podcast? Hey, we're live in Jerry's basement right now, so the podcast travels.
Yeah, it's mobile, right?
So you want to be a guest? Let me know. I got a third mic. We set this up. We do a nice little 3-way. We always got people talking, saying they want to do it, but you know what? If you don't show up,
man, I had to finally do it. I mean, and you know what? We definitely got to do it again because we got a bunch of stories, man.
We didn't even talk. I'm gonna just give you a little preview of some things that we got to talk about. We didn't even talk about Jerry meeting Bret Hart when nobody was around.
Oh,
I want to say nobody was around. There was security all around them, and Jerry snuck through.
Yeah.
There's also a funny story that I got. I know Jerry's gonna get a little embarrassed at this. Jerry rips his pants at the airport.
Yeah. What about meeting Shelton Benjamin?
Shelton Benjamin story we got.
Whoa, we got another Chavo story.
Chavo story part 2.
Part 2.
I mean,
I'll be back for that.
Ric Flair, hotel, WrestleMania 22, arguing with his wife.
Yep. As she flies away in a taxi cab with the doors still open.
I mean, those are just some previews.
We've seen it.
I mean, we've been
lived
this for 17 years now.
I'm going on 20 this year. Yeah, since 2001, 20 years. And next time we'll probably talk about the very first person we've ever met and how we met him, right?
Yeah.
We could do it.
We can do this. Man, we got old school Randy Orton stories.
Oh, yeah.
We got old school Triple H. When Jerry got Triple H, I couldn't get him.
Yeah. After seeing the guy several times.
Yeah. Man, so many stories. We're not even going over top 5. Just stories of the wrestlers we met. Bray Wyatt running away at the Hooters.
Yeah, after leaving Hooters with the
Fandango.
Uso. Yeah, and Usos were there. What about you making fun of Kurt Angle's Louis Vuitton luggage? And, you know, he had to point out, oh, my wife made me get these, you know?
So, man, yeah. Definitely for sure. So don't forget to tune in. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that way when we post a new video, you know what's going up. Hopefully we get Josh back. We could do some more other podcasts as well. Anything you guys want to see, anything you guys want to hear about, you just drop a comment and say like, hey, you ever met this wrestler? Definitely tell your story. 90% chance we have it.
We've probably met about, with no bullshit, 70 to 80% of the guys on the roster or guys that have been on the roster.
So, yeah, for sure. Definitely got some stories for pretty much each one.
Yeah.
I want to say. And, you know, just, you know, that's what we've been doing. You know, I love the autograph game. I mean, that's no surprise when you guys
Same here.
see it in my basement. You know, so.
This is my basement, but my autograph stuff is put away.
Yeah.
You could verify that.
For sure, for sure. Got a Cena story when he's in Chicago.
Oh man, can we do a quick Cena story?
Go ahead. Let's wrap this up with a Cena story.
We got to. Cena, man. I know Chi-Town fans do not like Cena. So this is when WrestleMania was in Chicago. You remember they booed the hell out of Cena, right?
Yep.
So very next night after Raw, Cena pulls up in a maroon burgundy color Hummer. He gets out and, you know, there's probably like 15, 20 people that all want his autograph. So he, you know, looks at him. He's like, nah, man, you all booed me last night. And he starts to walk away. Man, I cut him off. And I had a stack. I bullshit you not. I had a stack of Cena magazines. And I'll probably fan them out next time on the podcast, all right? So I fan out those magazines. And I was like, hey, Cena, you got a fan right here. And I got my Sharpie in my other hand, you know? So Cena goes, all right, man. He goes, I'll sign for you. He goes, do me a favor. Just keep flipping them magazines and I'll just keep signing them. And I looked at him like, okay. So I gave him that marker and he signed. I flipped it. He signed the next one. I flipped it. Man, he was cool as hell. And again, because Chi-Town was hating on Cena, he didn't have to stop. He didn't have to sign those. But again, because he's such a cool dude, he did, man. And again, I got nothing but love for Cena, you know?
I mean, he's been kind of dick a couple times, you know, coming through the hotel and refused to sign. But you know what? I can honestly say Cena said yes more times than he said no.
Agree. Definitely agree.
So, can't really hate on that. I mean, he's coming back to Chicago soon.
I've seen Cena walk in the hotel at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning when this man is beat to shit and tired, and he has stopped. So, I mean, I can't say nothing, you know?
Yeah. So, for sure. So, John Cena, also, you want to come on the podcast, let me know.
Unless you can't see us.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Jerry, hit him out. Peace.
I'll be back.